welcome back to the show. Thank you all for listening. If you haven't been listening, you're gonna listen, so it's all good. Uh, what episode 5? Phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my boy Peyton has one of his friends
Yes,
on this
sir.
episode, and it's gonna be a great episode. This is our first interview. It's gonna be major. Our friend he wants to be anonymous, which is just fine. Like we've been telling y'all, if y'all want to come on, listen, and you want to be anonymous, no problem. No problem at all. But Peyton, you can go ahead and take it away.
This isn't just a friend though. This is like the expert. Like, if you need someone to explain something to you, this is the guy you go to. Literally the guy.
Yeah.
So, I've known him for a long time. He's taught me most of the stuff spiritually that I believe in, and I still carry to this day. I believe that's the only reason why I haven't gotten possessed yet, honestly. And like I said, I've known him for a while, so I know everything he has to know is his word plus beyond. So, uh, he has some crazy stories to share too. And just keep it real honest and stuff like that. This is all facts, straightforward. So, uh, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I don't want to drag the intro on too long.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. That's why we making a podcast.
Yeah.
We talk and just go from there. So Guy, do you want to if you don't mind, actually, just let us know something about you briefly before we get into your stories.
Yeah, sure. First off, it's good to be here. To talk to Payne and
Monte.
Yeah.
uh,
I'm used to
Demonte,
it.
Demonte,
It's okay.
Demonte.
I'm used
Took me
to
a
it.
minute.
Don't even worry about it.
I
Just
don't
as
know.
long as you
Yeah,
don't call me Jumanji.
Demonte. All right, well,
Uh,
all right.
It's good to have
Okay,
you here. We're
yeah,
thankful to have you here, for real.
yeah. So, I mean, a little bit about me. Um, I've always been into spiritual things since I was a kid. Ever since when my older brother mentioned that there's ghosts all around me, and my dad talking to me about spirit guides being around me, that kind of thing just kind of helped make me who I am today. It just made me more aware of the spiritual side of things, and the more and more I got invested into spiritual stuff, the more I was able to see things clearer, able to like connect with spirit, to see spirit and hear them. And then having to go through trial and error with my abilities and connecting to the other side, I've learned a lot throughout that time. And like Peyton mentioned, doing that kind of helped me help him because I don't want him to make the mistakes that I made.
Right.
mm,
And that's why, I enjoy the fact that I'm here now. And to all the people who are listening to this, hopefully I can have some tips for them in case maybe they're going on an investigation or they're able to see spirits now and see them, and they just want to know a few tips on how to like protect themselves and become stronger and not like possessed by a demon or something.
Right. Yeah, you're a great help, man. Like we appreciate it. Like I don't even know what to say, man. This is surreal. It just hit me that we really doing this right now. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. So
That's
what's
good.
uh what's crazy is, like, before we jump into hit the expert side, but back when Dylan and I were doing investigations at his house, I texted Guy after we finished up the wrapping up the investigation, and I told him I saw eyes in the woods, but you can't hear it run. Like, we saw the eyes floating by and then it just took off. Like, we didn't hear anything. No leaves. Like, this is back in the fall, I believe. We were filming, and there's leaves all over the ground. I mean, this was in the woods. We didn't hear any sticks crunching. We didn't hear any leaves moving or rustling. We didn't even hear the animal breathing, if it was an animal. And I told Guy that, and he even agreed, like, okay, you definitely saw something spiritual. It was definitely keeping an eye on you. So when he said that to me, that blew my mind, because I was like, oh, maybe it's a possum or a raccoon or something. Maybe it just has light feet. I don't know. I was just trying to debunk it as much as I can. and he's the one that proved that, like, okay, you did see something. Like, you don't have to lie to yourself. You did see something.
Yeah, you definitely did. And that it was that the we're gonna get into his stories after this, but that's when you felt nauseous and stuff like that.
I think I got touched like 5 minutes after that.
Where did it touch you though? Did it touch an appropriate area or inappropriate
Okay,
area?
this isn't court. This is in court. It
I'm
touched me on my
sorry.
leg, if you need to know, for the record.
All right, cool. All right. Not so creepy. Still creepy, but not so creepy.
I think the fact that I couldn't even see it run off, I think that's even more creepy. Just eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy because it wasn't like a hand on the shoulder and then you all of a sudden heard the Toy Story theme song, "You Got a Friend in Me." This was
Yeah.
like something way worse. So, with that being said, Guy, share your stories.
All right. First off, before we begin, I just want to say whenever spiritual stuff, like spiritual conversations go on, I like to either put sage around me or incense just to protect myself. Just because whenever these kind of conversations are going on, spirits of all kinds will show up. It's like, oh, these people are open minded. Let's see, if they're protected or not. So if you have a second and when you take a pause, you can just imagine yourself protected by light or say a little prayer to yourself to kind of make sure you're protected before we begin. We can do that right now, like 3 seconds.
Done.
All right. If you're all ready, I would begin now.
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
So for the first one, I want to talk about the Pennhurst Asylum. I don't know if you're familiar with the history behind that, but thousands of children have died in this asylum. This asylum's in Pennsylvania, and eventually closed down in 1987, which is a good thing because so many kids died there. Adults too. They had kids who were like born inside their crib and lived in that crib until they were 12 years old and died. And then they would just take their body and go down to the underground tunnel and just throw their body down there. Especially when like health inspectors would show up, kind of like look at the area. Yeah, they would hide those kids. And if a kid bit you, they pulled out their teeth.
Wow.
They had probably 500 to 600 staff, but then they had over 10,000 people, 10,000 patients. So it was like a lot of people they had to take care of, and they neglected a lot of the children there. So in my experience, I saw more children there than I saw adults. I did see a few adults there, but it's mainly just children. When I first went up there, I was up there with my mom and my aunt with her paranormal crew. And before we began there, we also took the sage, put that around us, and walked in. And crazy enough is when we first walked in, on the wall right there, it had my name written right there in the wall.
What?
And I was just like, that is what? Like, my name's not very common. For those who know my name, it's not a very common name. So for the fact that it's right there, it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But it's like, maybe they're waiting on me. Maybe it's just by chance someone did that. So we continue walking in. We set up all our stuff, our cameras. We used a little teddy bear with a camera on it, and just began from there. We started from the first floor. There wasn't much there. And then it wasn't until we got to like the second or third floor we really started getting a lot of like voices coming from the voice box, shadows, and checking the temperature where we'd ask the child to bring down the temperature or raise it up. It was really hard to really do a full-on investigation just because at the time there was someone making a movie there, so they had lights all set up everywhere, and that kind of spooked the children who lived there because they're just like, they don't know if we're part of the camera crew or why we're there. So I was there to kind of like get on good terms with the children and like play nice with them. Be like, hey, it's okay. Let's play. You're fine. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to help you and maybe help you move on. And at one point, I actually ended up dancing with some of the children. And we got that on camera, and we could hear the children's laughter on the voice box. But then in the camera, we saw this old man just appear right behind me and told all the children to, get away. And they did. He just kind of, ruined our dance party. Then we moved on down to the basement, which is the creepiest place I've ever been, honestly. And we got the voice of a man from Scotland. He had this Scottish accent. We got it from the voice box. I was able to also just talk to him like normal, just because I could see him there. And we just kind of talked about the place down there and how it went. After we left, we were there all night too. So we were there all night with a bunch of videos and stuff. Nothing really stood out too much there, except for like the ghost children, the creepy man down in the basement, and that one doctor from the third floor. We walked around for a while outside the building, and we actually saw like a person's face right there at the window. So we knew that, there's ghosts around. Like we could see it. There's 2 other mediums there with us. After that, when we got finished with our investigation and we were leaving, we put sage and incense all around us, like normal. One thing I did forget to do was put sage or incense around the car and inside the car, because we ended up getting one child attached to my mom. We found out later it's because my mom has the same name as the mom of that little girl. So she tried to follow us home. The way how my mom knew she was in the car was she felt a spider web on her nose. But I told her beforehand, like, hey, there's somebody in the car. And then that's when she felt the spider web. And then I told her, you need to go back to where you belong. You don't belong with us. And then just head on home after that. That's pretty much it for Penhurst Asylum. Any questions or?
Yeah, I actually have a question. Like that spiderweb part at the tail end, because I heard like years ago, like just studying these different things. Sometimes if somebody feels a spiderweb on them and they can't find it, they say, well, it's like an angel hair or something like that. But honestly, today at work, I felt like it was spider webs all over me. Not to the point where I felt like I was like trapped or whatever, but I just felt like I feel it here or there. Like it's just like the spider webs up my, and I looked around and I didn't see anything. I didn't see a spider. Do you have an explanation for that? Like as far as like,
yeah, they're all around us. They're not around us all the time, but they're around. So, and being open-minded to this sort of thing does attract ghosts to you, which is normal. So just feeling the spider is just telling you, you got ghosts around you. Doesn't necessarily mean they're attached to you, but they're just aware that you're aware that they exist. And because of that, they're just going to be around you for a little bit.
yeah, that makes sense. Based off the stories I shared previously, I don't mind resharing the story, but like I know when I can tell when a spirit is around me. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm a medium, because I know that Peyton's, if I can say it, Peyton, if that's okay, like,
Huh? What?
I was gonna say, I know like your girl is a fiance. Excuse me, your girl is a medium.
Yeah, I would suppose. Yeah.
And my aunt, she knows a medium. That's her spiritual advisor. So different stories, different things, different encounters, different things that they mention, it just adds up to like what he just said. Like I have that experience, to be honest with you guys. That whole spider web feeling, I've had that plenty of times. Even if I'm just sitting in the house, I'll get up and just walk through the house and I feel like it's a spider web just like there. And to be honest, this gonna sound this matches up on my left shoulder. I have a spider web with a spider coming down from the spider web on my arm, tattooed. So, but I had no reason to get that. Like it was just something that I wanted. Like that was my first tattoo. So like I just wanted it, and I don't believe in coincidences. Is I made up a saying that there's no such thing as coincidences, only confirmations. So I feel like that has something directly tied into what I've been through. And I'm not here to hog the show or nothing. Peyton, you can interject or guy, but that's just it's tripped me out.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in the same thing. Like everything for me, I always say everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I always say. It's just so many weird things happen, connections, and like you said, confirmations. It's not just random. There's a reason behind it. You just need something else to connect to it.
Right.
So
I do want to say something about that Pennhurst Asylum,
mm,
because I heard this story already. Because obviously I've known Guy for a little while, but when he told me the story, I was like, oh, this is when we first we're getting into the channel, that me and Dylan started. So I was like, hey, what if we book going there and stuff like that? And Guy he warned me before I did it that it's going to be a long wait. And we called and it was I think it was a 2-year wait list with $300 a person or something like that.
yeah,
It was expensive to go.
mm-hmm.
But it's one of the most popular attractions. I mean, it's rare for you to be able to do a solo investigation, because Guy's, family is well known for their investigation, so they were able to get in. But, based on my understanding, they had to wait a while too.
Yeah, no, I mean they had to wait just the same, probably like a year and 6 months. I didn't know about it beforehand, like when they started doing that. Because when this happened, it was within the year when I realized I had these abilities and could connect. So when I learned that I wasn't crazy, I actually can see them, I can hear them. That's when my mom mentioned, "Oh, my aunt does this and that. You should come and do that with us." So I just had to pay them the $300 and get in. They already had the appointment for it. I just showed up for the ride.
So just to add more credibility, because I believe Guy showed me a picture. If not, then it just popped in my head. I don't know if you were just, submitting it to my head, but I feel like I've seen it because, we worked for a while together and there was a picture of you standing there and in the dark, there's just this old guy with a kid by him behind you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's accurate. I think you showed me it before because
Yeah,
that was back when I was a skeptic.
Yeah, I mean, I never showed you a picture because there's no picture of it.
Oh.
I mean, it is on camera, but I don't have that copy of it. So you probably just got that image from me sending it to you.
Yeah, because that was weird because you were explaining it when I first heard it a year ago, and I was like, man, I could have sworn I saw it. That's how believable it is in my head because I could have sworn I saw it because I don't. That's crazy. That's crazy how that works.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about something that's fake, and for that to actually be sent to someone else, it's easier to talk about something real. Yeah,
because this is back when you and I genuinely first started working together, so I didn't really know you all that well. So the fact that I can easily see it, just proves another piece of the pie.
You can do that though. Spiritually, okay. So spiritually, on this plane that we live on, the third dimension, we here recording the show. You're kind of limited, but on the next plane, it's basically like you can make a phone call to the next dimension. You can make a phone call to different dimensions. So when it comes to what you said, go ahead, Guy.
I was just gonna go with what you were saying. I was gonna mention you can even, if you want to see your loved ones, all you gotta do is think about them.
Yes.
and think about like memories of them, and they'll show up. I mean, you might not know right away. It might be 30 minutes later, an hour later, but all you gotta do is think about them, call out their name, and they'll show up.
Yes. Like, all right, so in the African American community, part of it, I'm African American, so also I'm also indigenous American because my grandmother's side of the family, they're like, if I show you a picture of my grandmother that passed away, you would think she's a full blood Indian, Native American. So it's a saying that it's like different things. It might be outside of that. Not saying it's just us that experience it, but like different things. Like if your palm is itching, that means you about to get some money. If your
Yeah.
ear is itching, like out of nowhere, like not saying somebody not cleaning themselves properly or nothing crazy like that, but you'll just be chilling, relaxing, then your ear will start itching. That means somebody talking about you. So it's like different things like that.
Mm.
It lets us know, like we've heard stuff like that, like people may write it off as, oh, that's superstition, like, oh, but it's like it's some validity to that. It's a lot of validity to that. Once you have these experiences, you'll start to believe more into that, and you'll dive deeper into that.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I mean, same thing applies to like if you hear your ears ringing. It could be tinnitus, but like
yep.
if you're like having a conversation with someone and then out of nowhere your right ear starts ringing, typically means like that person is correct with what they're saying. It's truth. Versus if you hear ringing in your left ear while you're talking to somebody, there's something that they're saying that's not true. And whenever that happens, if it's like family, I will say like, "Are you sure? You are you not just like adding more to the story, more flair to it?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." Blah blah blah. You know.
No, I've heard all of that because when I was a kid, like I had to get like quote unquote tubes put in my ears. I still don't even know what that means, but this was probably like two years ago. We were talking about me and my family and my cousin's girlfriend. She's also spiritual, so we all just talking about different. First of all, my whole family is like this. So, but
So
everybody has their
it's in the
own
blood.
experiences, huh?
I was gonna say, oh, okay, so it's in the blood, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what my cousin's girlfriend said. Because all of us have our own experiences, but it's just different. Like it's tailor-made experiences. Like you got this gift, you got that gift, you got this gift, whatever. So we were talking about the different clairs. So like the clair, you might be clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient. It's like 5 different clairs. I can't think of the other 2, but my cousin's girlfriend was like, "Oh, she's clear, like she's clairvoyant." So, but she got to talk about her experiences, and I got to sharing mine. And she was like, "No, you're clairaudient." And I was like, what does that mean?" She was like, "You can speak directly to the source, because the universe will send you different signs depending on what you are tailor made to receive." So I get the angel numbers and I get all that, but also like if you're clairaudient, you receive messages from like music, TV, or whatever. It could be anything, and your hearing is different. Like I remember one time talking to my baby brother at my grandmother's old house before she passed away, and the neighbors up the street were just talking. Like they won't yelling, they won't. It was nothing abnormal. They were just talking, and my brother was talking to me, and I was like, "Do you hear that?" And he was like, "Nah, what you mean?" I said, "I heard other people talking." And then like we looked at the street and we seen the neighbors in the street talking, well, in the yard talking. It was just talking, just talking. But they were like way too far away. I'm hearing them like how you hearing me right now. Like it was super zoomed in. It was like my hearing just like zoomed in, like I'm a dog or I'm a hound or something crazy. Like it tripped me out. So like that clairaudient, one thing is like the ringing in the ears. If I have a question to this day, I could not even a question. I could be thinking about something like, man, I really need to clean my car out. And as in my head, as I'm hearing clean my car out, it'll be a song on the radio saying, "Oh, I went to clean my car out," blah blah. Or like it'll be a random song. Somebody could be walking past my truck while I'm saying it, and they like, oh yeah, we gotta clean it. But I'm like, I'm thinking it,
Yeah.
and they saying it. They're projecting it based off my thoughts.
I just felt tingles all over my body. It's because I know how true that is. Same thing happens to me. Back in high school, in the cafeteria where everyone's all loud and you
Yeah.
can't really talk to the person next to you. Somehow I was able to zone in on some conversation, maybe 10 tables down. Like I was just like I could hear them so clearly, even though everyone else is so loud. I don't know why, but I could. And
I've done that before at
yeah,
school,
I kinda
like the cafeteria.
That's
And I
like when
kinda
a superhero, you watching a superhero movie and their powers are kicking in. That's what it's like. Because you'll be sitting there like going through your everyday life, and then you'll be able to hear something like that. Like when I said the neighbors sounded like they were right beside me, and I asked my brother, I said, "Do you hear that?" He's like, "Nah, what you talking about?" I'm like, "I hear them," and then I pointed it out. I said, "I'm listening to them," and I pointed at them, and I'm just listening. They were talking clear as day, like they were right beside me, bro. Like, and I asked my brother, I said, "You can't hear that?" He was like, "Nah." I mean, I hear them a little bit because they right down the street. I hear them a little bit. I said, "Bro, no, it sounds like they're in my ear talking to me. Like their faces are on my ear and they just talking like how I'm talking to you right now. And they not no whispers, no, I hear them. And I could point out everything that they were saying. I'm listening to everything they saying. And then we went up to them and confirmed, like, "Oh, what y'all talking about this?" It's like, "Yeah, how you know?" It's like, I try to play it off. When you have these abilities and you can't just go up to anybody and just say something to them like about it because they might look at you like you're crazy. So
yeah, and I understand that too. Yeah, and I've done that too with strangers, where I'll go and kind of confirm it with them, even though they'll look at me weird and be like, "How did you know?" And then I'll be like, "Okay, cool," and kind of walk away, and they never see me again, because it is kind of being crazy to do that. And
yeah,
but I'm the same way with wanting to confirm.
Hell yeah.
Is it what I'm experiencing like true? Confirm? Like when I first realized I had these abilities and I could connect and all that, I went to see a medium just to like see like at first I went there to kind of like test her out a little bit. So when I heard like a lady talking next to me, I told her, the medium, this is what, like I hear her talking really fast, really loud, and I didn't want to tell her what she's saying. And then I asked her like, okay, is what I'm hearing true? And she said, yes, they are doing that, and they're saying blah 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 blah. I'm like, whoa, cool. So I'm not crazy.
Yeah, man.
No.
Trust me. I'm man, one day that remind me of like the deja vu moment. One of the many I went a period in my life where I had deja vu moment back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like my junior year in high school up until I was like 25. It's still like I had a deja vu moment like yesterday, but it's been like so far and few in between. So one morning we sitting on the bus, on the school bus, and it's just one of the radio stations was playing, and the radio host was talking about something that like some current event, and I was sitting beside this girl, and then my friend, he was sitting in front of me, and I was sitting in front of both of us, and I said, "I know what he about to say," and they said, "Who?" I said, "On the radio, I know what he about to say." And yeah, to those who listening, they play audio recordings over and over sometimes on the radio. I get that. This wasn't that type of situation. Like they were talking about something live, and once I said, "I know what he about to say," it was like, "What? No, you don't." I started to say, as the dude on the radio talking, I'm saying everything. I ain't even tell Peyton this. I'm telling everything that the radio host was saying word for word. Like he could have been saying redfish, bluefish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm saying everything he's saying as he's saying it. I'm saying it with him. Not no like, oh, he'll say it and I'll say it like 2 seconds later. Like, no. I'm saying it as he's saying it, as he's saying it, as he's saying it. And they was just like, I was in a trance, bro. Like, I was in a full-on trance, and I was just looking at the radio, and I'm just saying this, like back. That shit lasted for 2 minutes, a good 2 minutes, and then after I stopped, then it went to commercial. Like when the we basically I went to commercial with the host. Like as I'm saying what he's saying, he was like, "We'll be right back, bro." I'm like, and I looked at my friends, and they were just looking at me. And my friend that was sitting in front of us, he said, "How you know that?" He said, "Well, why Siri? First of all, Siri, get back." No, I don't know why Siri just came on, but I was like, well, he was like, my friend was like, "Why? How you know that?" And I said, "I don't know." I just told him, I said, "I don't know. Like, I don't know what just happened, but I just knew, like, mind you, it's people on, it's other kids, plenty of kids on the bus. We going to school. This is in the morning. We going to school. Everybody talking, yelling or whatever." And then I told my friends, "I know what he about to say." Like, what? And I just said it. Broke out the trance. Like, what happened? Damn near almost was like, where am I? Like, I was super lost. Like, I wasn't lightheaded. I didn't feel sick or any type of ailment. But it was like, what just happened? What was that? Tripped me out.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I mean, same thing happens to me when I start getting a trance. After I get out of trance, I still will be like, wait, where am I at again? Okay, I'm right here. But I've learned, to ground myself whenever I try to get into a trance, just so I don't feel the whole, like, where am I? That happen.
Man, it's crazy.
And the
Hey,
thing
Peyton,
about, I was going to mention how earlier you're talking about the music. Same thing applies here, where I'll be thinking of, like, let's say, like with my emotions, I'll be like sad or something and dealing with something, and I just needed help. And suddenly on the radio, a song comes on that's talking about exactly what I'm feeling and what I'm going through and what they're doing about it. I'm just like, holy crap. Like,
man,
never even heard this song before. Never even knew it existed. Now here it is.
I got a story about that. That's crazy. So this was 2020. I was dating this chick, and I was just like ready to give up on it because it was mad toxic. It was not what we were going through, but things around what the relationship, like her family issues and stuff like that. So I'm just like, man, I'm ready to just walk away because this is too crazy. So as I'm thinking that shit, I pull up to this convenience store that I always went to, and I walk in, music playing. Mind you, I was just about to be like, I'm done. I walk in, it's a song playing saying, "Don't give up, boy." I don't know what the song was, like, "Don't give up, boy. Don't give up, boy." It was just like saying, like, in a trance, like, "Don't give up, keep going, don't give up." I forget what the song was. It was some old, like, 80s song or like 90s song that was playing in the store. In the store. As soon as I walk in, I get my stuff and I go to the line. It's just like, "Yeah, don't forget up, boy. Don't give up." It's like a melody just singing to me. I'm just like, I just didn't pay for nothing. I just got the fuck about it. I said, "Oh no, that's it. I'm done." Like, nah, because certain things like that will make you feel like you crazy, bro. Like, what you mean? Like, don't give up. No, this is a bad. So that's why I think that there are multi-dimensional things that are happening. So it could either go in your favor or it can coerce you to do something you don't want to do. And based off my experiences, like, I experienced this stuff, so I can't say it's a lie. I can't blame anybody for it because I can't even tell. Like, even though my family have these experiences and they will believe me, but I don't even want to tell them, and I know they will believe me. So it's like you almost isolated just based off of what you experienced. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Hold on, I gotta go utilize the latrine. I gotta take a leak. Peyton gonna be here. He gonna talk to you. I'll be right back, guy. I respect your time. I'm not disrespecting your time. I'm not.
No, I understand.
I drink a lot of water. That's all I got to say. I drink
Got
a
a
lot
tiny
of
ass
water.
bladder.
I do, and I drive trucks for a living. I gotta go.
You're good.
So, Guy, since you're the expert here, so I didn't want to interrupt the little date that was going on here. What the fuck was that? Baby, was that you? Were you knocking on your end, guy?
No. Just
No,
genuinely-
I heard someone knocking on a door. I was looking at the so while y'all two were talking, I looked over at the window. I mean, you know the layout of my room.
Mhm.
I looked over because I'm sitting at the table. I looked over and I saw like a head just move to the corner of the room.
Is it that old guy?
I don't know what it is because she said she couldn't feel anything in here. You know, thinking that it's maybe one of our guides, but I don't know.
How did you feel when you saw it?
She keeps saying she thinks it's in my head.
But how did you feel? How did you feel when you saw it?
Made my hair stand up.
Did you feel something in the pit of your stomach saying like something is wrong?
Yeah,
Yeah, something's wrong then.
but she can't feel anything, and I trust her word over mine.
But this
I
the
mean,
thing.
you gotta trust yourself.
Yes, that's exactly what I was about to say.
She's
Man,
a
I
lot
like you,
stronger than
guy.
I am.
Hold on. I like you, guy. Guy, you all right, man. We I like you, man. Like you, we right there. We here with it. I'm pointing my eyes. And we here with it.
Hell yeah.
And the reason I say that, Peyton, because you know I share my shadow person stories on here.
Mhm.
Shadow person, Jen, whatever. When you told me when you sent the text, you was like you saw what you saw. You basically what you just told Guy. The reason I asked that question or those questions is because when I seen what I saw, I felt something in the pit of my stomach, and it was like my adrenaline just started racing like out of nowhere. So that's how I know when a negative entity or spirit is around me. So like not negating your fiance's abilities, but at the end of the day, sometimes some things are only meant for you to experience.
That's
Because you
fair.
already know how powerful she is, but
Yeah,
that don't mean that takes away from your powers.
could have been a test.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Trying to pull you away from her.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
pull you
I
away
could
from
see
her.
that. That seems plausible.
Yeah. Because if she didn't feel it, that means it's been from what's resonating within me, it's probably trying to pull away. It probably found a way, a slight brief way to not get her attention. It's basically tiptoeing around her to get to you.
Is that possible, guy?
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Really?
that's a good example.
Because when I saw that, like, I got a stomach dropped. Kind of
Bro,
freaked me out a little bit.
one
Not gonna
day
lie.
I'm chilling. We this was like in high school, chilling in one of my friends. My friend who stepdad passed away in the military, and I told that story on here. You remember that, Peyton?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we chilling at that friend house. So it was on his birthday, so all of us were over there, like all his closest friends. We over there at his house. We in his room. He playing Modern Warfare 2, and everybody else is chilling, just talking or whatever. He kept saying the first time he was like, "Chill." We was like, "What you mean?" He was, I just saw my stepdad face in his reflection in the window. This on the second floor. His stepdad passed away like 2-3 years before in combat. An old Black Hawk pilot got shot down. So he seen him right there in the window. So we all looking. We go to the window like, nah, we don't see nothing. So because he was shooken up. So he was like, we don't see nothing, bro. Just calm down, just relax. We good. So it's like, all right. He like, all right. So literally like 5 minutes later, he said, bro, chill. Like I keep seeing every time I glance at the window, I keep seeing his face. Mind you, I've been over that house plenty of times. One day, it's just me and him in there. We playing Black Ops 1 zombies. We playing zombies. And then this is my friend who introduced me to zombies, Peyton. You know, because Peyton know me, we play zombies and stuff together. So this is my friend who introduced me to this. So his mom had ordered a pizza, but she went home. But she was just like, y'all just go down there and sign for it. You know, you just order what you want, whatever. When it come, do what you do. So my friend, we both playing the game. I get into the game. He was like, oh no, the pizza, we heard the doorbell. They here, like the food here or whatever. So he run out the room, go downstairs. So I'm like, I'm coming. Hold on. Then I just died or something on the game. And I ran in the hallway. It's a bathroom to the right. When you come out his room, it's a bathroom in the hallway to the right. I run past the hallway. I run past the bathroom door. All I hear is click. Just like that, like slow. The bathroom door opened up as I'm running in the hallway. And yet people might be like, it's wind pressure, whatever. I didn't open the door. My friend already opened the door. And he went downstairs. This is before he opened the door for the pizza people. So it was like a click, and it was like and it opened. Guess what I did? I looked at it. I said, nope. I reached and grabbed the door and closed it. I reached and grabbed it, I said, nope, and ran downstairs. And then we got our pizza. But then it's another situation to where they in the bottom. His mom's house is at the bottom of a cul-de-sac. By bottom, I mean the center of a cul-de-sac. So it wasn't like it's had like a hill, a deep incline or whatever, or decline. And they just at the bottom. No, it's like her house is at the center. His house is at the center of the cul-de-sac. Dead center. Tell me why it's black footprints going up to the house. We didn't see the footprints being laid, but it was just there. Like the footprints, it didn't start at the top of the street, in the middle of the street. It was like right in front of their house. And it looked like boot footprints. It wasn't like barefoot footprints. It looked like boots, and it was just led up to the house. It was probably like, I'd say like 8 paces, like left foot, right foot, like until it got to 8 paces, and then it got to the house. So that trip us out too. I'm sorry to go into that random story, but God, you the reason we here. So I just felt like that related.
See, I believe in like sometimes things need to be told or listened to for a reason. Like I said, everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You just telling that story might help someone out who's listening to this right now, or once it's done recording.
Right.
So that's why I don't mind it. Like what I've learned with like meditation with other people, even if someone's like sneezing or coughing, it doesn't add disturbance to the meditation. It actually adds to it.
No, that's true. I believe that.
So that's why I'm fine with it.
No, I appreciate it though. Like, no, for real, I appreciate it. So I got that story. A few of those stories I just told Peyton, and I told you, whoever listening. Peyton, he never heard those stories. Like when I said when we was chilling in the lobby, I'm gonna settle down because I'm ADHD, so I get super hype about this stuff because I really like it. People look at me like I'm crazy because I like this type of stuff, but it means a lot. Like I got stories just thinking about those stories I told that I never told Peyton. Mm-hmm. Like when I say I have about 10 stories based off like when I'm there, and that's just me, like the stuff I've heard, the stuff I've experienced, the stuff I've seen. Then my family members, like certain family members, my direct family members, they got stories. Mm-hmm. And then after my grandma passed, now I got even more stories. So like I'm trying to tell you, like there's no such thing as coincidence, only confirmation. I truly believe that. You can't make me not believe that. Like I don't care. I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, it's a coincidence. If somebody says that, then I'm not gonna be triggered or nothing. But I'm gonna just in my mind know, yeah, nah, that wasn't no coincidence. That was supposed to happen. That happened because of this XYZ, whatever. So, but we here for you, God. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, and I mean, same thing kind of happened with my dad. He believed in spirits and spirit guides, like I mentioned before. I would talk about how I had a spirit guide and all that, but he wasn't really too involved. It wasn't until I started opening up about what I can do and my experiences. He started saying like, "Oh, like I can sometimes feel my grandparents around me." Like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then got to the point where, yeah, there's this one thing we shared experience together, right, on separate nights. So back where I used to live, there was this couple ghosts that would argue at night, like on top of the stairs. And they've been doing that for like 6 months or so. And eventually, I kind of just like shut them out. But then one day in the morning, my dad comes up to me. And he's like, "Hey, do you know there's like a ghost couple up above the stairs that argues?" I was like, "Yeah." Like I never mentioned the story to him at all about this couple, and he was just like, "Yeah, you heard them. They're just arguing. I don't know who they are." I'm like, "I don't know who they are," but it's just a cool experience to share of confirming that he can connect to that just like I can.
Right. Yeah, it definitely is. Hey Peyton, what you doing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. I was just talking to my fiance, and I'm like, I feel so drained right now. I don't know why. I was so excited to get this video started, and now I just feel like so out of it.
Well, you know what you need to do? That's that entity trying to drain your energy.
Yeah.
First of all, you're a young man. You're a young man. Not
I'm
saying
younger than both of
young
you.
women can't. I'm just talking to you because you're a young man right now. We're talking to you right now in this present time. Do not let that drain your energy. Do not feel like you drain. Don't say it. Don't say it, because if you say it, that entity is gonna display it. It's gonna keep messing with you, coming to you, taking your energy. You think this is gonna be the last time you feel like that? Nah, you're a young man. Turn up. Remember when you said you feel that you told me this. You feel that negative stuff around you, act silly, act goofy. Start
Yes.
laughing.
Thank you. Yes.
That's what you need to do.
I've been telling Peyton that the same thing.
See?
I gave good advice, but I don't take it.
See, when I told him we was in the lobby, you hard-headed. You hard-headed. But guess what? From what I experienced, what was that?
You told me to act silly.
Yeah, act silly. Keep acting silly. Go ahead. Tell us something right now, a funny story that'll uplift your spirits. Tell us something.
Going fishing with my dad was like the best thing in the world. Like him taking me fishing when I was little to get me into trout fishing, and he hated taking me fishing because I'd always steal the fishing spot. But it was fun because like I was hanging out with my dad because my dad was never around. So, and now he's around too much. Now it's just like oh yeah, I'm moving out now. That was like oof. Back when we were doing that was back when I was 8. I was like, what, 15 years ago?
That ain't goofy enough. That ain't goofy enough.
Yeah.
That ain't.
No, it's not goofy enough, but I enjoy that story.
That's some old novel. Yeah, me and my dad, and back in 20 years ago, we used to go fishing at the local spot. No, you need to tell something goofy, man. Because if I got to show up in spirit and kick that spirit's ass, it's gonna work. I don't give a damn. Like I'll tell you this. All right, so they got a new Haunted Mansion movie coming out, right? I don't know if y'all seen the trailers for it. This is like the Disney's Haunted Mansion. So when we were kids, Eddie Murphy was in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the movie, basically, so the spirit, him and his wife, they're realtors. They get this notification for this house. They go, it's the mansion, it's the Haunted Mansion. They talking to ghosts whole time. They don't even know it's ghosts. So the main ghost, he was like, "Oh, your wife, she looked like my wife back in the day," and he was about to kill Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy said, "Well, you can kill me, but I'm gonna be whooping your ass for all of eternity. I'm gonna be whooping your ass. So whatever's trying to get your energy down, I'll show up and I'll whoop their ass. I don't give a damn. This ain't in depth, because the universe, Most High, God, whoever people want to believe in, I ain't here to tell you who to believe in, but they already told me what I'm gonna look like when I transition. He already told me. Yeah, I'm good on that. That's why I'm so confident in talking about this type of stuff. That's why I feel so secure about talking about this type of stuff, because no matter how much these dark entities gonna try, they will not win. That shit is not gonna fly. So, Peyton, I'm telling you, if you need me to whoop some ass, I'll whoop some ass.
No,
And
I think I'm straight.
Yeah, nah, I don't feel that. You ain't. What'd you say, guy?
No, I said I don't feel that either, man.
Yeah. Peyton,
You're just saying
right now.
You're just saying it to say
same
it.
age. You ain't about to just say something to us and we just gonna be like, well, okay. Nah, you don't feel that. You don't. Me and Guy, the only difference between me and Guy, from what I'm learning from what he just said, like over the past like few dozen minutes, his family seeks out these experiences and stuff like that, which is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what y'all do. Well, my family, I said my whole family has experiences. So that means also his whole family has experiences. And we're the same age. So Peyton, you're a young man. You way younger than us. We know you more than you know you, because we've been there. This ain't we trying to make ourselves seem cooler than you or no bullshit like that. We've been there, bro. We've been there. So don't lie and be like, oh yeah, I'm all right. You're not all right. But we're gonna make you okay before we get off this episode tonight. You understand that? I don't want to hear no dead air. This is a podcast. I don't want to hear no dead air. Guy, you are a guest. So if you got some dead air, that's fine. Dead air, to those who may not know, dead air is when it's just quiet. You got a radio show or a podcast and everybody's just quiet, not saying nothing. That's dead air. Just dead air. All the listeners gonna hear is just air coming through the microphone, just air. It's dead air.
I mean, I can blow into the phone when I'm not talking. Go.
Do it. Wake him up. There you go.
It's so loud. It's so loud.
That's what you get. I know you got,
I got like
headphones
noise
in.
canceling.
That's what you
I got
get.
I got noise canceling headset on. I got the volume turned up, and it just sounded like a hurricane was coming through the house.
At least you're awake now. You got the energy up.
No, I said I'm good. And then you guys didn't want to believe me.
He not. No, I know you not. You didn't say you was good. That ain't what you said.
I said I'm good.
No, you lying. You lying.
No.
See, now you're trying to act goofy, trying to act silly. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Peyton, you ain't.
I'm not good at acting.
Because you got people around you that's gonna make sure you're good. But don't lie and try to say that you're good when we know you ain't good. That's completely different.
I'm not lying.
And you just had hella dead air. You had hella dead air just a little while ago. Cut it out. We got you, bro.
I was trying to think of a goofy story.
Yeah.
I got
for real,
none.
you could tell that story about your dad on that cruise ship again, because that's just hilarious. That's hilarious.
Memories. That's a good story. That was a good one. I think I told Guy about it. I don't know.
Hold on.
Which one?
Do he know Terrence?
Oh, Terrence! Huh? Oh my gosh.
From the job?
Yeah, I know Terrence.
What about him?
It's just funny. You know how Terrence is, man. He's just all over the place.
Hate that guy.
No disrespect to him.
No, lots of disrespect.
Oh man. Well, yeah, Peyton. Man, hey God, this man Terrence used to mess with Peyton every day. As soon as he see Peyton, he messing with him. He owned Peyton's like head, like oh my God, man, like
I
This
know, I
dude
know.
like slept and breathed my name every single day.
Even when you left the job, he was still talking about you. Like he'll be like,
Really?
"Hey, yo, like tell Payne this or that," and I'm like, "No, I'm not going to." He just was always about you, even when you left, at least for a couple weeks. Then he kind of slowed down. But
man.
yeah, this guy.
Y'all remember this big dude, big black dude that was in sales? His name was Darius.
Yeah, Garcia's.
Yeah, I went to school with him. So
Oh shit.
I seen him like 2 weeks ago at this Father's Day cookout that our friend had, and I was asking about the job. And he was like, "What about your friend that you work with the glasses, the white dude with the glasses?" I was like, "Peyton." Like, yeah, Peyton. Oh man. So all right. I had no idea he knew you.
The white dude with the glasses.
I mean,
Hey.
I'm just saying you are a white dude that wear glasses, so it ain't
I
no
wasn't the
funny
only
business.
white dude with glasses.
Huh?
I mean, there was
wasn't the only
Gasser.
white dude. Oh yeah, Gasser. See, Gasser was white and he had glasses.
Nah, it won't gas her. I know who he was talking about because he said the dude that I always talked to and hung out with at the job. So I was like,
when was this?
when we was working there, because you got to
He
think.
said, "Who's the white dude?"
Yes, he said,
Oh,
your friend, the white dude with the glasses." He said he left. He said he left. Blah blah blah. Because I was talking to him when he came. When I seen him at the cookout, when he got out the car and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, bro? You still at Ferguson?" He was like, "Nah, blah 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 blah," just talking. He was like, "No, your boy left. The white dude with the glasses." I was like, "White dude with the glasses?" I was like, it's only two of y'all that was there with white dudes with glasses. So it's either Gasser or it's either you. So I was like, he ain't talking about Gasser because Peyton told me Gasser's still there. So I was like, oh nah, he talking about Peyton. I was like, you talking about Peyton? He's like, yeah. So I had no idea. That goes to show you that people watching, even if you don't know they watching.
Yeah, see, Garcia's left after I did.
This is a big black dude. I don't know his last name, but it's a big black dude. Like,
yeah, Darius Garcia's.
The tall,
is that the tall one?
dude?
Yeah.
Is that the tall one with muscles?
Yeah.
Not muscle. He was heavy set. So like with muscles,
Tank.
yeah, but he like heavy set.
Oh,
he was a tank.
Yeah, you probably know who we talking about, guy. Because there wasn't but so many big dudes there when I left. But hold on, when you get there, guy?
Let's see, December. Oh yeah, April. That's right.
April.
Yeah, end of April.
The year that
2 years ago.
quit.
Around there.
Yeah, I left because earlier I misspoke. I said it was last fall. No, it was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but actually,
it was
last year.
Yeah,
it was last February.
Yeah, because I was there in October 21, and your grandmother passed away in January 2022.
Yep. So like when we left for like Christmas break, I had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Got diagnosed with it that Saturday, like the first Saturday of the year. That following Saturday, that's when my grandma died. And then went through all of that, came back. Because Darius thought I had quit. Because that was the first time I seen him since then. But mind you, I went to high school with him and shit. So I've known him for a long time. So he thought I quit. And I told him what happened. He was like, "Nah, bro. They said you quit. They said you left." It's like, that's a lie.
Yeah, that's what they told everybody.
Hey, I said I told him, I said, Peyton to tell you, like, that's when I got to telling everybody about the podcast and stuff. And it was like, remember I had hit you up that day and was like, I got other guests that's gonna be on the show.
Yep.
Yeah, that was that day. That was that day. That it was on Father's Day.
Yep.
So so he was like, "Nah, they said you quit." It's like, "Nah, bro, they fired me." After I came back after my grandma died. It was like, what? I It's like, yeah, bro, I'm not lying. It's like, damn, man, it makes sense because it's every time I'm on the road, because I drive a trash truck now, guy. Like I got my CDL, I drive trash trucks, whatever.
Mm.
So every time I see a Ferguson box truck, I just be like, man, F them. Like I, you know
No,
how
I mean,
it
I
is.
feel the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
know
feel
how
the
it
same.
is. Yeah, I can't stand them. Forget them.
Yeah,
Just
but Darius
uh-huh.
left after I did because when I told him I put my 2 weeks in, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm planning on getting out of here too." And I'm like, "Oh, for real?" He's like, "Yeah." Literally a week after I did, I believe, or 2 weeks after I left.
Yeah, he said no. He said he left. He told I ain't gonna say where he work at now because we recording and shit. But no, he said that day he left. He works for somebody else now. So
Wait, the
that was
day
the first thing I
I
asked him.
left?
That was the first thing I asked him. It's crazy how God worked there, and then I left, and then he came. So that's
Hmm.
crazy. That's crazy,
Yeah,
man.
and then we
That's
both
funny.
hated it ever since.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
weird too. Like, we're both, spiritual people. So you're the spiritual person there for him while you worked there. But then when you left, I guess another spiritual person had to come back in. It's gonna be there for paying for a little bit. And then we kind of like both left at the same time, a couple months apart. It's interesting, the whole connection and everything.
It
You know,
really,
I kind
like
of
I said,
hate.
everything happens for a reason. Well, no, that's what you said. Everything happens for a reason. My thing
Hmm.
is, there's no such thing as coincidences, only confirmation. Because that's crazy. Like when I say crazy, I mean in a good way.
Yeah.
Like
But
that's
I hate how that makes sense because I brought him over with me as well.
Yeah.
I hate how that makes sense.
why do you
Well, I
hate?
don't hate it. I don't hate
I'm
it. I
about to
don't hate it.
say,
I don't hate it. That's negative. I don't hate it.
yeah, I'm about to
I
say, don't
just
say you hate it. We
it
good.
just
It's mind
sounds
blowing.
like yeah,
It's a
it's
little bit
just
mind
mind
blowing.
blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Like, it really is, and it happened for a reason. Like
Hmm.
there's no like Peyton told me like everything he went through when he was a baby, how he almost passed away,
Hmm.
and then
Oh,
like I'm sharing the ghost stories, and like
Oh, I don't think I shared with that with Guy yet.
yeah. No, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said it on camera either.
yeah, because we was over there by the in the back part of the warehouse on the front, well not the front side, but like
No, the backside.
the back side with a tub, not the
Um,
tubs, but like
no, we're
over
over
there.
by the toilets,
No, it was over there by the you know
by the Kohler toilets.
the the
Okay,
pans they
HVAC
put
stuff.
underneath the water heaters, the pans, the
Mm.
white pans. You had to go get
Oh, yeah,
on the
yeah,
plum right,
yeah.
those plum right orders,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and you had to go all the way to the back and get the little white little square pans that go underneath. That's where we was at. We was over there, like in that aisle, like the middle where the forklifts and shit be pulling up at and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The bendies and all that. Like,
And all the cherry pickers.
yep, that's where we
Yeah.
was at. We was back there. That's why I was
Let me.
thinking like we was in the back. But not the
Yeah.
HVAC side, but like the back over there where that we was right there. We was on that aisle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when it was
I was,
yeah, it was cold. We had hoodies on. I remember that.
yeah, we're staying back there because it was warmer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That sucked.
Man, fuck Ferguson, man. I'll say it right now. I don't care what YouTube got to say. Man, fuck Ferguson, man. Fuck
I
that
will
company,
share
man.
that story with Guy though, because that I find it interesting because like I was supposed to die right then and there. So like okay, so after I was born, fast forward, I get sick. I'm a little baby. I'm a little bean. I get sick, and the doctor prescribed me penicillin, which is what all babies take unless they know straight up front that you're allergic, but you don't find out until like you're a kid. And so I took 10 days worth of penicillin that whole week. And I didn't have any reaction to it at all. And in fact, I think my mom said I was actually getting better. And here it is like the 10th or 11th day. Uh, I think my mom said I was sitting with my dad. I was sitting on the couch, like mimicking how he was sitting on the couch, and my dad said, "Hey, he's red. Is that a concern or anything?" Like I'm two, mind you, too. So I'm not crying, but I look like I'm swollen. And my mom just got home from work. She just went back to work. After having a baby, and she freaks out because this is the second kid, but the first kid was the easiest. Well, for her it was, but so they rushed to the hospital, and I'm like, every joint is swollen, like you can't see any of my joints at all, like I'm swollen from head to toe.
Wow.
And I start getting these red veins going all the way up from my joints, like because it's like poison essentially. And they can't get the IV in to flush out my system, and they're poking me and prodding me. It was probably, I think my mom said it was like an hour before they can get the IV in. And I was supposed to be dead, like right there. If they didn't get the IV in anytime sooner than that, I probably would have. There's definitely a possibility. So now every time I talk to the doctor, I got to say, yeah, I'm deathly allergic to that. And, of course, the wife is freaking out because when she gets sick, she can take penicillin. So she doesn't like me touching her when she takes it. I'm over here like, because I got a sick, twisted mind. I'm like, hey, it probably doesn't affect me anymore. Like I could just easily just,
Shit.
and she hates when I do that.
Shit. Yo,
But yeah,
nah.
2 years old, and I had to sleep. So like when that happens, I don't know if it works for everybody. I feel like all babies are kind of different, and everybody's different in how they are affected by things. But I had to sleep in like a V, so it can drain. Because if I slept flat, I would just get swollen again, and I'd be back in the hospital for the same thing. And there was times where it took multiple trips to get the final, like, okay, he's good, like 100% good now. And then of course 5 years later I drowned in the pool, but that was a different story. That's a different day.
I say I got a story that'll relate to that. What you went through. It's not my story, it's my aunt's story.
Oh, I was about to say, I don't remember you having an allergic reaction to anything.
Nah. So if y'all don't mind, I'll share it.
Yeah, you can share it. I don't mind.
So my aunt, this is when my aunt was like 2. So this is before my granddad died.
Well, same age as me.
Exactly. So she was 2 and they was in church. And in the black church, nothing like, I'm not taking nothing away from nobody else's religion or experience, nothing like that. I'm just relating the stories that were told to me. So in the church, in the black church, they get to shouting and they get to praising God, whatever. They get the music. First of all, it's like a concert. You go to the black church, the music is crazy. It could be like that in a Catholic church or quote unquote white church or whatever. It could be, because when I was in the Army, I experienced different church services, reading from the book, like reading the songs and stuff, the hymns, stuff like that. I'm just saying that to say, this is an all-inclusive podcast. I'm not taking away from nobody. So this was like a Pentecostal church. So they shouting or whatever, they praising God, like they music playing. It's like a concert. It's not saying it's a concert like everybody like they wilding out, but it's like the music quality is. I'm gonna take y'all to something like that one day. I'm gonna show you what I grew up around, and not saying I want you to believe in this, with that, and the third. I just want you to see, even if it's just that one day, because I just want to go and show you that one day, like that one day worth of quality. Like I'm gonna show you what happened. Like for example, one of my friends that was there that I grew up with, that was at the church. He's a musician. He was playing the piano. He always played the piano. He played the drums and all that shit. He played the harp for the Queen of England the last time she came over here. She came to Virginia. She came. I'm in Virginia. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. My friend, he played the harp for the Queen of England. The last time she came over here. Not saying that's something noble because the royal family, they've been on bullshit, whatever. But he played the harp for the Queen right in front of her. Like she's sitting, all the royal family sitting up there on the stage or whatever. He's sitting there front and center playing the harp for her. One of my friends did that. The last time she came here, when me and Guy was probably like, we the same age. My friend who did this, he older than me and Guy. So me and Guy was probably like, I'd say we was probably like 11 or 12. So anyway, back to my aunt. She was in church and they praising God and stuff. And she just like, they said she turned white. Like my aunt is like, she's lighter than me. Like, so you see that picture right here that I'm in, she's lighter than me. She's not y'all complexion, but she like in between, like caramel. So she was 2 years old and she just fell out and just passed out. So my grandma that passed away last year, and her and the other people, the other saints of the church, they checking on her. Like they checked her pulse. She started going like white. She started turning white. Mind you, she's caramel colored. But she passed out and she started turning white. Bro, they checked her pulse. They didn't get a pulse. My aunt died right there in the church. She's like 2 or 3 years old. An infant, like 2, like she's a baby. So the pastor started praying for her. All the saints is going around like putting their hands on her, like just praying. Next thing you know, she came back to life. Wow. She came back to life. I got stories. I got stories from the church, bro. Like, people will not believe it, but I got stories when the pastor prayed it casted a demon out somebody's body, and when he did that, so it was the pastor of the church. Some dude just came in there. He had bullet holes in his legs, right? He had got shot up. So he came in the church because they said he was like, he heard the music, like they just, playing the music. It's really something out of a movie. Like, so he came in there, pastor prayed for him, put his hands on him, and it said the pastor felt something went from one side of his body to the other side of his body. He grabbed that part, and he went to the other side of his body. He grabbed it until he just pulled him. He just pulled him in, was like, basically like, I rebuke you, bro. I rebuke you. Said dude threw up a hunk of flesh. Like a hunk, like once they just kept praying. Dude just threw up a hunk of flesh. Hunk of it. They said it looked like basically like a baseball sized hunk of blood. Just threw it up out his mouth, just spit it out. The same pastor, one day, him and his kids, they in like a suburban type truck, and they driving, and then an accident happened. Mind you, this is me. I'm going off of what I was told in this. I'm listening to this stuff when I'm in church as a child. So this is what was said. That this is what I remember. And he said, the pastor said the truck had hit something. And then he said, the pastor said he just remember floating down to the ground, and it was like feathers coming down over him. And he was like, he just landed on the ground. Mind you, he was driving. So he was like, basically the truck flipped, his kids, his wife in the truck, and then he just landing down on the ground and feathers falling over him. And he was like, what? Wait, what? And the other members of the church, they vouch for it. Like, no, that really happened. Yeah, my uncle seen somebody die in church. He said he was playing the drums, and some dude they shouting, they praising, dude hit his head on the corner of the motherfucking organ, and he just blacked out. Like, dude just blacked out. Like, he just fell. Like, you know, when you hit your temple, the side of your head on something hard, you die. So like that's it. So they just picked him up and took him to the back, got to praying for him. But I don't think that dude recovered. I just think that was his day to go. You know, that was his time. But if something happened to my aunt, she came back. Something happened to me in church. I'm sitting in the back of church. That's when the vertigo that I used to have kicked in, like that day. And I'm laying down on the back seat in the church, like in the back, like not a back seat, like in a car or nothing, but like in the back of the church. And then one of my cousins, she turned around, was like, she told my mom, was like, Jamonte, he white, he pale, like he, mind you, I'm dark skinned, so like I turned white, like sitting there, laying there in the church, like I'm breathing. I remember this shit like it was yesterday, bro. Like I'm breathing just like breathing hard as shit. Mind you, it could be some medical thing that happened.
Kind of sounds like asthma.
I don't have asthma though.
Oh,
I've
well,
never had asthma. But I turned pale, bro. I turned like, bro, my skin was like, I don't even know what to compare it to, but like I'm dark skinned. So like my skin was just like white.
As white as me.
White. It faint. You know, not trying to be funny or nothing. I'm not trying to sound crazy. That's what happened. That's what happened. So passed out. Next you know, they took me up to the pastors because there was multiple pastors there that Sunday because the other churches that came to our church, they praying for me, just praying. And I just like got up. Man, I got so many stories, bro. I got so many stories. Like
I got kind of like a goofy one.
Huh?
I said I got kind of like a goofy one if you want to hear it. So down the road from my house, there's a cemetery. It's been around for a while because there's headstones from the early 1800s, maybe even the 1700s. But in the parking lot, they had like a mound of dirt. And there was no sign on it, so we assumed that it was free. So, you know, we had, you know, taken out a tree over here, you know, roots and everything, and, you know, taken out some of the fence. So we needed to fill it with dirt. So I went and took it. And, you know, the whole time, like, I have kind of like an unsettling feeling about taking it. Because these are like, this is dirt from like the holes that are dug for the caskets. So, you know, we're just loading up the trailer full of dirt, bringing it home. Lo and behold, it's not free, mind you. You know, just going forward, it's not free. They put a sign on it, you know, do not take, which we didn't know at the time. But so we brought it home, used it, and then now every time I pass by that cemetery, there's this old man that's always like, "Where's my dirt at? Why'd you take my dirt?"
Wow.
Like he's just always looking at me passing by, just where's my dirt at? Why'd you take my dirt? That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Did Monte take off? Oh, he's muted.
Is he muted? Okay.
God damn, he needed another bathroom bake.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. That's interesting. Like, so you said the guy just stands there, like looking around all confused, like, where's my dirt? When was this? A couple of years ago? Or was this more recent?
Sorry. I just had like a piercing headache out of nowhere. No, this was like a month ago.
A month ago. Okay.
Yeah, it was more recent. Definitely one of the more recent stories I have. But like he's always just like, "Where's my dirt at, man? Where's my dirt?" Like he always just has his hands up, like he's like shrugging his shoulders, kind of thing. Like he's like, "Where's my dirt?" Because it's not my dirt to take. It was for his casket.
Oh, okay. So maybe you got to get some dirt for him, and then, you know, you don't want to leave him there for, 50 years being like, "Where's my dirt? Where's my dirt?" Because then someone like me or someone 30 years from now is probably going to be like, "Okay, sir, let me help you move on or help you find your dirt." You can't just like. I just have mixed feelings about leaving a spirit there, confused and alone. That's just my 2 cents on it. You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
I don't think he's there anymore. I haven't seen anything recently about it.
Okay, so then maybe he moved on. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, every time we pass by, and my fiance will say something about
Yeah.
it. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, every time she would mention it, I would just like, well, we used it. It's not anything bad. Like I didn't take it out of bad blood. I was apologetic. I didn't mean to.
Okay, so then that makes sense. Then why you don't see him much anymore? Just by saying, I apologize, thank you, or thank you for allowing me to use your dirt. Usually goes better than just like taking in, never saying anything.
Yeah,
So that's probably
no,
why he's not dead.
I definitely knew something was gonna happen because like it always made me feel like unsettled. Like it was very uncomfortable taking that dirt because I know where the dirt came from and I know what's around because the whole time we were digging it, we can see the spirits walking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's. I just thought it was free dirt. That's all I thought, and I felt bad for taking it. I should have known, but my dad's like, I need dirt, and I need this, and I need that, and we can't afford actual dirt. So,
No, I get that.
but I said I was sorry out loud, so I'm hoping he heard it.
What are your thoughts, Tremonte?
Yeah, I feel like he definitely heard it. Um, like you said, you can't just like take something and go, because I've heard plenty of stories to where like so my friend who I told the story about, his dad was in the military. Um, and we heard when I told the story about, he was like, "Oh, I see his face in the mirror, whatever, or in the window." Um, his stepdad pretty much abruptly left him because he passed away. So my friend was driving his car. My friend was driving his car, like that was like not something like he wasn't supposed to do. That was his stepdad. He was cool with his stepdad's kids, his stepdad's family. That was his mom's husband. So it was like it's not like he was doing nothing wrong. Like that was his boy. Like they were close. So my grandma, like I said, in the African American community, not saying it's just us. I don't think it's just us, but my grandma used to say, "You can't drive a dead man's car. You can't drive a dead man's car." Because stuff kept happening to the car. It was an old car too, but stuff just was like randomly like it was just like stuff that we could have got fixed, and then we did get fixed on the car. But it was like you can't drive a dead man's car. You can't drive a dead man's car. So like
Holy shit!
yeah. So
That
mean, that's-
no, that brought up like another story that I got. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It
no,
makes sense now. This story that I'm about to tell.
go ahead. No, you can tell it.
Oh,
Thank you,
so
thank you, God, for asking that, because that's real. Thank you, I appreciate that.
wait, what?
No, he was like, "How do I feel about it?"
Oh yeah, that's some real shit right there.
Yeah,
That's the deep stuff.
I'm laughing at Peyton, man. Peyton, you a nut, man.
No, you were explaining the story, and I'm like, holy shit, this all makes sense. And then meanwhile, it's like in the background. I'm like, oh my god, it makes sense.
Yep, that'll do it.
I don't mean to be rude about it either. It was just like it pulled me back into the universe. It was like it's all clear to me now.
But you see, all right, look, hold on to your thought. Hold on to that thought. What we got right here, I don't know if God realized this or not, but he is officially now a part of the show.
Oh,
He is. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. But Guy, you are the show. You are the show. Right? So when Peyton asked me that, I say this, and then it's gonna go to you. Not saying this is gonna go to you because I'm dictating some type of order or no. Because this, like I said, this me and Peyton show.
Mhm.
and you're here, and you didn't have to ask that. You didn't have to say that. Like, how you feel about that, Jamonte? And you got my name right, so I'll automatically appreciate you because you got my name right.
I mean, I just had a brain freeze in the beginning of the show for a second, but I'm clear now. So
Hey, that cool. Like I said, even if you do say Jumanji, but just know, just know, look, just know, if you say Jumanji, I'm gonna have to roast you. Even though I don't even know what you look like. Like,
I mean, that's me in the photo right there. You must know. That's like the AI version of what I look like right there.
You know something crazy?
It's pretty
I'm
close
to
to being
something
accurate.
crazy
Too.
right now. You want to know something crazy?
Hmm.
When you joined the lobby before we started recording, some told me like, nah, that's how he looked, bro. Like when I say some things just resonate within me, and I use discernment, like it just talks to me. Like the spirit just be talking to me. Not no bad spirit, no. For those who listening, nah, I ain't on that type shit. None of us are. But when I saw you, and I knew you, we've been talking about you for real. We've been talking about you for the past like 3 or 4 weeks, past month. We've been talking about you. So when you came over here and I seen that, I was like, nah, that's what he looked like. Like, you could have used
his
anything.
forehead is that big in real life.
You can't hide from somebody who know how to tell secrets. You can't hide. You can't hide from somebody who know how to identify secrets. And I'm just saying that to say, I know. If you know, you know. When I know.
So the spirit that looked at me, are they like not physically, but like they had like someone visited me when I first joined in. They had like a blue light flicker to them.
Mm.
Would you say that relates to the person or the spirit that told you?
No. I'm
No.
gonna tell you this. I'm not saying that you're not valid, but Peyton's fiance, like the last episode, it was a dude. She said it was a dude that want to talk to you, Jamonte, but he yelling at me. So I don't. She said I don't talk to the spirits that yell at me. So I was like, all right, well, fuck him. Like, nah, like, he gonna yell. He being rude. But they was like, is it your granddad? Is this? They ain't say that, but it was like we was just going through the motions, like trying to figure it out. But nah. But what you just said, guy, I believe that makes sense. Like, because I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you this right now. When it came to like Peyton's fiance, when it came to like doing the tarot cards and like different things, I'll like have a certain discernment to where my guard is up. Not saying I feel like they about to try something wrong against me, but I'm sitting up. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
Say it.
Like no, real talk. Like you can laugh. That's fine. I don't take nothing against that. That don't offend me or nothing. But I feel like as the same way God want to be anonymous with who he is. Y'all heard that?
The hell was that?
That was a firework.
Oh, are you guys hearing the fireworks? There's fireworks outside.
Huh?
There's fireworks outside my house right now, so that's probably what you're hearing.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's also a sign. That's perfect. That's no such thing as coincidences, only confirmation.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I left off. I said something, and then boom, like nah. So at the same time, I want to be anonymous to who I am. I want Peyton's fiance because she's going to be a member of the show as well. That we already talked about that. Cool, but at the same time, I was taught that you can't let everybody know who you are and what you are.
Mhm.
You can't
Yeah,
because they're
I
gonna prey
agree.
on that.
Yeah, I know.
Because exactly. Because if I just talk to somebody random about what I go through, I don't know what they would so attached to them. Like
I mean,
this not a game.
yeah, it's not. That's why, like, ask Peyton, how long did it take for me to actually tell him that I can connect and all that to the other side? Probably what, two,
Oh,
3 months?
yeah, I was just about to say like 2 months.
Mm-hmm. And it's only because he brought up being into this kind of stuff, and then I kind of like eased into it a little bit.
Well, I was still on the fence about it,
Yeah, but I
and then
still
you
eased in a little
convinced.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that'll do it.
I do got a story before you wrap it up, though, real quick, if you don't mind.
Who wrapping it up?
I thought you said you were wrapping it up.
Nah, I didn't say that.
Oh,
Did I? If I don't think I said that. I'm sorry.
I
well,
mean,
no, I
I,
thought you
I
said
thought you.
like,
That's what I thought too. Like 15
yeah,
minutes ago.
yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry. What am I going through? Hell no. Hey, look, as long as God want to be on the show, I record. But I'm sorry if I did say that. I apologize. I did not mean that. I did not mean that. I
All right.
apologize.
But I have a buddy. I'm gonna keep everyone on this area anonymous because I'm not sure if he wants this out there. But uh, he had someone pass away in his family that was really the only father figure he had because he never met his father, and he passed away like 2 years ago, and he left most of everything to his mom. So, he got the car, or the mom got the car, kept the house, and the person that passed away had an apartment with, his girlfriend. And so, the car went to the mom, and the mom's boyfriend was driving it. And to my understanding, the man that passed away did not like the mom's boyfriend. So he was driving to work in the car. And mind you, before he was doing it, the car was already having electrical issues. So he just decided to do it anyways and drove it to work, and he ended up getting into an accident on the way to
Mm.
work. And this is a dead man's car, like what you brought up earlier.
Damn.
And
Wow.
so we went over to, his apartment to go, help out and see if we can move anything out or if she needs us to take anything. Because I brought my buddy over because, he can't drive. At the time, he couldn't drive. Or not that he couldn't, but he didn't have his own vehicle. So when she opened the door to let us in, I felt like that cold rush just boom. And it was the winter. Or it was fallish winter, heading into winter. So it was cool out. I think it was just before Halloween. And it smacked me like a baton in the face. Just you feel the instant cold, but the apartment has heat in it. So it's like, where did the cold come from where it can hit me from the apartment? And
Yeah.
right when you said dead man's car, that's when it instantly like, okay, this makes perfect sense. Because this is before I even believed in anything. Like, I was just like, man, she's got the air conditioner on in there. It's cold out. And, she's in her 60s, 70s. So I know
Yeah.
they don't play around with that AC because they get sick. But
Yeah, real quick.
yeah, but he had lived in that apartment for so long. He was so attached to that apartment. That's where he reside. But it's just crazy on how everything happened and what's going on now. It's crazy.
But everything what you when you say, excuse me, I was struggling to say that shit. All right, so guys, this
Yeah.
podcast it's slightly funny too. Like it's also we talk about what we talk about, but it's also funny. So with my friend
Yeah.
who had when I said his stepdad's car, like it ended up getting stolen. Like, and my grandma was like, you can't, accept the dead man's car. It's really making me think about my grandma, and not that I'm getting emotional. I'm not, because
I
I
mean, that's
accept the
fine if
fact
you are.
that, huh?
I was going to say, I mean, that's fine to be emotional about it. Totally natural. But go on.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. It is, but like, I know what I know. Just like you know what you know, Peyton know what he know.
Mhm.
His fiance knows what she knows. So it's like I can't get emotional no more because I know she good. Like I done had dreams. I seen her in purgatory. I seen like some crazy stuff in dreams. Even when she passed, and I'm playing the game. I'm playing like, man. I'm gonna tell him this story, and then we can go from there. After my grandma passed, this was probably like, mind you, my grandma she's been a major figure in my life. Like, she raised me. Like, she took me to my baseball games. She picked me from basketball conditioning when I was in high school. Like, my whole life, like, my grandma has been there. Like, this really, like, in that episode, that trailer, Peyton was like, she don't just sound like your grandma. She sound like your ride or die or whatever. And I was like, yeah, like, I just listened to that shit over the weekend. Like, that episode, like, I listened to it. Like, that trailer, like, I listened to it. So, man, I'm gonna just say this: the day after my grandma passed, it's like two or 3 days later. This is before the funeral. I'm sitting in my apartment at my gamer desk. I got the gamer desk. I got the gamer chair. I got the gaming monitor, and I got the. Like, so I'm sitting there playing the game. I'm playing Fortnite, and I got the headset, but I don't play with both headset, like both the earmuffs over my ears, over both ears. I play with just one over my ear or whatever. So just in case something happened, I'm not fully submerged into the game. I can hear what's going on in the real world, whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting there playing Fortnite. I'm in it. Like, I'm going ham. Like, I do that shit. Like, I'm in that shit. I'm playing it, and I heard somebody saying, "Jamonte," just like this,
Mhm.
Jamonte, Jamonte, Jamonte.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
believe. Yeah.
I hear this shit. I'm like, first I thought it was the kids because it was kids outside playing. So, like, other black kids, they got names that may sound like my name. So I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I ain't paying no mind. So I'm playing. Monte. I was like, oh shit, it hit me. I was like, that's my grandma. So I'm just sitting there looking around. That's when I started seeing the flash of light out the corner of my eye. Flash of light. That flash of light. Flash of light. Flash of light. I'm like, what the fuck? It looked like somebody, like, I'll be playing the game, and it looked like somebody took a picture of me with the flash on from my right side or left side, but I'm the only one in the house.
Mhm.
So it's like, what the fuck? Like, my uncle had that experience too when his wife died. And like I said, you gonna hear these stories. And God, I say that to say this. The whole point of me saying what I just said is to say this. Me personally, and I know Peyton gonna feel the same way. I want you as a part of the show.
All right. Okay. I hear you.
Like, real talk. Like, I want you to be a part of the show. Like, I want you to be. I want this to be a 3-man show, and then we interview other people because you're valid. So
It's always good to have an expert.
yes,
I mean, I really don't like the terms calling me expert, to be honest. So, I mean, I'm still learning, just like all of y'all. I'm, still figuring out what's right, what's wrong. or making mistakes, learning from them. I'm not really an expert. I mean, I wouldn't call myself beginner, but I would not call myself an expert.
But you know
I would,
something?
hmm,
You know something?
what's that?
I learned over the past 2 years, don't block your blessings. And I say that because not saying like you need us, like I'm not saying nothing like that of the sorts. Nothing at all. But you know your stuff. And if you taught Peyton what you taught him, and Peyton has been teaching me stuff
Mm-mm.
as well as his fiance, and it's gonna come back down to you. Not saying we don't have to call you an expert, but you the guy.
I mean, I prefer either like teacher or the guy versus expert.
That's just fine with me.
Yeah, I can refer to you as a teacher.
Yeah.
That's just fine with me. For real.
Yeah, and to kind of circle back to when you mentioned your grandmother, I had a similar experience to that when my grandmother passed away. Uh, when she passed, I could hear her calling my name and her deep Southern accent being like, I'm just going to use Guy as the name, like, Guy, 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 like over and over again. I was like, oh, that's my grandma. I know who that is. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but for a while, a little bit before then, when she passed like 2, 3 months after I was doing like a Reiki healing session on her. Like this woman has been dealing with pain for over 60 years. I think she passed when she's like 80. But for like 60 something years, she's always on pain medications and just laying in bed all the time because she couldn't, it was hard for her to get up, walk around. And she's like, and when I mentioned I do Reiki healing, she's like, okay, I'll try that. When we both did the Reiki healing, I was getting images and visions of things from her past, and I kind of confirmed it with her with kind of what happened. Like her, she has no fingerprints on her fingers because she was in a house fire when she was young. Um, Another time, let's just say she had issues with a family pervert. Okay, just to be in a nice way. She mentioned that, and that's why I saw it all in my vision, and we both cried. Like I don't cry that often, I don't get all that emotional. But with her, after that session, we were both emotional and just talking. But then when she passed away a few months later, at first I thought it was my fault, but then I realized it's just I released her from her pain and her suffering, and she realized by her soul that she's ready to go. So it was just interesting that she came back to me afterwards to be like, "Hey, guy, like I'm okay." Kind of helped me like, okay, it wasn't my fault. It had happened, and everything's good, kind of thing.
Hmm.
That make perfect sense, man.
I
Yeah.
don't have a similar story, but it is with the name thing. Like, I don't mean to cut you off, by the way. I don't know if you finished.
Oh, I'm done. You're good.
Okay. So, it's a little bit like weirder, I guess, but to kind of bring
Okay.
up a little mood a little bit. Me and my fiance, like we went and got dinner. Like I ate some mean food and it's fighting back. So I know I got to go to the bathroom. So, I'm
Okay.
running in there, throw, throw, throw everything off. And I think it was like 12 o'clock at night or something like that, or 11 o'clock at night. And, we have nicknames for each other. Like we never say our actual name. When you say like baby or muffin or, whatever you prefer, little, whatever you're doing in the bedroom, I guess. But, uh, I'm going to the bathroom and all of a sudden I hear muffin. And I look around, I'm like, what? I hear it again, muffin. And it's getting louder, muffin, muffin. And I'm looking at him like, I'm like, what? And she's like, I don't hear anything back. So I'm like, what the, so I'm like, all right, let me finish up, throw my clothes back on, let me go out there and see what happens. She was in the room sleeping, but it was her voice saying it.
Mm.
So Actually, I think I talked to you about this guy because I think you're the one that told me about it.
You
But
mentioned it a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, but it was just like to the point where I'm like, were you calling me? Like, I thought she was pranking me. Like, she was just fucking with me. Because I came back in the room, like, were you calling me? She's like, no, you literally just woke me up. I'm like, what? That made no sense.
Yeah.
Like, I was
And,
just genuinely baffled.
and do you remember what I told you about that? Or
Vaguely, because this was a while ago. I think you referenced something. Obviously, it's the name that we shall not say, but um, it's either that or like a mimic.
like
Mm.
just like a spirit messing around with you and wanting to
Yeah,
get your attention.
yeah.
And that's just what I learned from my own perspective and experience. I don't know if anyone else has any other perspective on that. That's just what I think. Javante.
That was the only thing that made sense to me, honestly, because I don't even know what that was. And every now and then I hear it again. It seems like every few months I hear either my actual name be said or a nickname that friends used to call me or my dad used to call me when I was younger. Like I hear that like it's right in front of me.
Yeah, because I mean, I get that too with the kids that I used to work with. I used to work at a daycare back in the day, and leaving that job, every once in a while, I'll hear somebody say like, "Brody, it's me, Brody," and I'm just like, "What? Is he dead or something?" Then I kind of like look him up real quick, and he's like, "He's not. He's alive." I'm like, "It's so weird," and that's when I realized it's just some spirit like trying to mess with me with my mind. He's not all of a higher vibration. He's of a lower kind of spirit entity. What do you think, Jamonte?
Yeah, I think it's something that's really like trying to get your attention. Like I feel like honestly, it's either somebody that you know or it's some type of attachment they trying to attach to. They trying to cling on to who you know,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Exactly. Yep.
They're trying to attach to, like, because say it's your dog Rover or not even your dog. Say it's your grandmother Claire and she passed away and then she may come to you at certain times, but something is trying to attach to Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Something is trying to get through to her and mess with you. Like it's this whole thing is
Just,
mathematical, it's
yep.
scientifical, and it's like it's not just some like, oh, like even when my grandma passed away, like I was like, nah, sometimes some things happen. I was like, nah, that's not my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, because she wouldn't do that. But when Peyton's fiance was sharing the messages, that's another thing I was gonna say. Like, I don't want Peyton, I don't want your fiance to share no more messages. I don't, because
Huh?
it's not that I don't trust her. It's that I don't. I'm still learning. So like,
Oh, like if it came to like someone passing through or something.
yes,
Oh, okay. I was like,
like
messages? What messages?
the stuff
No,
that happens,
yeah.
thus far. But nah, because I already know that I can interpret messages. I've had experiences, so I don't want anybody to interfere with that,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
because they may try to, like what happened to you tonight. Like your fiance over there laying down just chilling, but you experienced something just then. Like it's just those type of situations. Like nah, I can't. Nah,
Yeah.
because
I mean, that's
I
why.
don't want to deal with that.
I feel like this how I feel. Like I said, I go with my discernment. I go with what resonates with me.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna try to come to you. I'm gonna kick it a buck. I'm gonna kick it a buck with you. Like I tried to say some shit earlier, and I was like, I don't want this to happen because whatever, because of who I am or whatever. Like honestly, I don't want to put my gifts. I don't want you to be in harm's way of my gifts because I already know, like real shit, like real talk. I don't want anybody. It don't matter who it is, because I already know what to do. Because I already know who to talk to. I already know how to get through it. I don't want you to feel to go through that. I don't want you to like. It's just you. It's like some umbilical cord type shit. Like on a spiritual level. Like obviously, like I ain't saying like, oh, you, my mom or my dad, whatever, on some umbilical cord type shit. Like the physical. We all had umbilical cord, abilities and stuff or experiences when we were born, or when we were developed in the womb and all that stuff. Like, nah, I don't want you to go through that. I don't want anybody to go through that, because what's meant for me is meant for me. What's meant for you, meant for you, and God, what's meant for you was meant for you. So I don't want anybody to. I don't want any interference. By that, I mean like what's meant for us is meant for us. If you go through what you go through, you experience that. I'm never gonna negate that. I'm never gonna disagree with that. So
I mean, speaking of cords, that's something I try to do often is cutting cords with people, especially when like going to their house and doing a reading or a cleansing of their house. I always try to cut cords because I don't want to put my own emotions into their or my own connection to them or the house. I want to separate myself when I do that kind of thing because I don't want either something coming back to them or I don't want to send out the wrong message to them. And if I do, I always tell them at the end to test me. I always say test out, like don't take everything I say to grain of salt. Like don't believe everything I'm saying. Question it. Always take your own discernment. Don't believe everything I tell you, and kind of go within yourself and how you think and how you feel about it. Because I could be wrong. I'm not always right. I could be wrong about something. I could have connected to something else and not even be aware of it at the moment. So please question me and test it and go with you internally what you think and feel.
Right.
Okay.
No, that makes sense. Nah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? So the other night, like, I'm always trying to test my abilities, try and do new challenges for myself. And for a while, like, I've been neglecting my abilities because of that one night that I had that, like, where I just got pulled into somebody else's spirituality, and it scared the living hell out of me because, like, I've never had that happen to me before. And ever since then, I just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot I had abilities kind of thing, like just pushing it to the back of my mind. And the other night, my fiance was asking me questions about something, and I'm like, yeah, I there is something there. There is something, going on there. Like I feel the pain that person's feeling. And it's weird because like, I just sit there for a minute in silence until like I feel something. Like I'll feel like an ache in my back, or my eye will get super hot, or like something on my body will feel like really cold or hot. And that's
especially with. Oh, sorry. I was going to mention how, especially since I've tuned you all to Reiki level 1, that might be something related to that.
Maybe.
But, feeling the pain in your eye. So
maybe. I don't know.
Because I mentioned how, like, ever since I got to, like, Reiki Master, I've realized, like, I can take on other people's pain and take it in on my own. Like, if someone's, like, right knee hurts, I'll feel it in my left knee. Or if it's their arm, I'll feel it in the opposite side of my arm. Other people are different. They might feel it in the exact same arm, Other things is that spirits will try to connect through you for my, like if I have a male spirit energy around me, I'll feel it in my left arm. No, my right arm, sorry. My right arm. And then if I feel heat in my left arm, all of a sudden it's a female. So that could be something similar to like why you're feeling all these weird pains or heating sensations around your body. Could be spirits
Well-
just kind of telling you who they are.
To add to that, like it wasn't for spirit, is for somebody who is alive right now. You know, just to check up
That
on
too.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was feeling that, but I didn't expect to, because that was the first time I've actually felt pain on somebody aside from, my fiance, because I always feel her pain because her and I are just that connected.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it's getting past my bedtime though.
Yeah, now same here. So,
Same here.
We've never recorded this
Yeah.
long before.
Nah, but it's a good thing though.
This was a good episode.
This is the best episode.
I don't want to say best yet.
yeah,
I'll say best.
there can be
thus
better.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Best thus far.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. But we're gonna have a lot of bangers.
Absolutely.
Damn.
I'm gonna
somebody is
say
blowing
this
up my phone.
before we go. I appreciate you, Guy, for being here and to answer questions and to ask questions. I appreciate that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good to be here, Jamonte and Pan. Like the whole thing has been a whole new experience for me. And I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, it's always good to have you here, buddy.
Likewise.
Yeah, Jumanji.
First of all,
Jumanji.
you ain't gonna do me like that,
Jumanji, sorry. I'm
man.
just joking.
God,
Yeah, Jumanji.
man, I'm cutting this off. Wrap it up.
Comment, like,
Bye.
subscribe. We appreciate Guy's appearance and interview in what's the word I'm looking for? Perspective on things. We always appreciate everything that he has to offer. And of course, I already know you personally, so I know everything. Actually, I didn't even know some of these stories because you never told me that before. But it's always interesting to see from your point of view, coming from you, because you have a lot of perspective on things, and you taught me that it's not a certain thing. It's the universe. Everything flows in the universe. The universe is your energy. So that's what I've been able to practice on.
Cool.
Jumanji, you got anything?
I just want to say, first of all, I'm mad I answered that shit. Forget you. I know YouTube be tripping on the curse words. I wanted to cuss you out just then, but I'm not going to. You my little brother. Guy, you my twin brother. So
Okay.
I just want to say
It's not
thank
fair.
you for being here. I appreciate you for being here so much. You gave us so much insight on different things, and like I said, I can't appreciate you enough, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that too.
Yeah, of course. And with that being said, we're gonna get out of here. Talk to you next time. Peace.
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 See y'all later.
Yes, sir.